Well, Dom, a fantastic win over Mark Williams. Just how pleased are you with that?
Yeah, very. Because when you lose a first frame against somebody like Mark, you don't keep the pressure on them. It can get pretty tricky. But Mark, looked at a few of his results, and I don't think he's playing his absolute best by a long shot. Not just yet, so early in the season. So I was aware of that, and I thought, if I can keep the pressure on him, great. But I had a few things go against me in the first couple of frames until I had that colossal fluke on the yellow. Luckily for me, I got perfect position on the green, and I ran around the table clearing up the balls. I wanted to show Mark that I'm ready to attack him now and play quickly and take the match on, if you know what I mean. And it worked. I cleared up the colours in no problem, and I sent a sort of message to Mark really to show that I'm after you now. That's what you've got to do with the top players. You won't beat them, being timid and shy and sort of, not say lacklustre, but certainly in his shot selection, being overly careful. That won't win you matches against the top guys.
We all know the big stage and the spotlight is something you quite enjoy being in the middle of, but it's very different circumstances here. What did it feel like playing a big match out there, but without the crowd?
Well, we're all used to playing matches behind closed doors with the Championship League, and when you play certain matches in China, there are very few in attendance there. But I think as a professional player, all the matches are so important at professional level in ranking events that they take precedence, and you just concentrate on the table and the balls and the opponent and winning the match. You forget about the fact there isn't an audience. Sometimes it's beneficial. You're obviously not going to hear a mobile phone going off. Nobody in the audience is going to cough or distract you at the wrong moment, so that's beneficial. So there are advantages as well. Obviously later on in the tournament, when the big guys get into the semis and the final, that's when an audience in attendance makes a big difference. You feel the whole atmosphere of the grandeur of the final, the ultimate match in the championship. That's an important match, and when there's no crowd, yes, it's disappointing then, but not so much for the earlier rounds. But it's a lovely backdrop with all the multicoloured lights. It's a bit like the Crucible, I think, come finals night with all the little stars effect. It's very nice. It's a good setup.
You touched on in the Eurosport studio on this over the last couple of years when you've sort of flirted with falling off the tour. You've talked about being quite relaxed about the idea and not being too bothered, but that seems to have changed now. You're very, very focused on trying to do well.
Yeah, it's funny, coming into the season I changed cues actually. I thought I want to go back to 3/4 cue, which is very similar, this cue, to the one that won the Shanghai Masters with a 3/4 maple cue. Which at the time I used to practice with an Australian player quite a lot. He used a very similar cue and I liked it, and I had one made up pretty much the same, and I won the Shanghai Masters with it. And it's a maple cue. This normally I've used Ash, but I'm really a maple person. I played my whole amateur career with maple, and I really did put the hours in. When you do change cues, you certainly do practice a lot, and I've done that, and I can actually do a 3-hour session on my own straight through and actually want to do more. It's such is my enthusiasm now. I don't know where it's come from after 20 odd years. You'd think I'd had enough of the game, but not so, it seems. Just playing with a new cue and liking the cue as much as I do aesthetically and the way it plays, it seems to have revitalised me a little.
And just on the table this week, it's Ali Carter up next. It doesn't get any easier after beating someone like Mark Williams, does it?
No, some of the top players have departed already, and you sometimes after winning 2 or 3 matches and beating somebody like Mark, you're hoping that you're coming up against one of the lower ranked players who's beaten one of the higher ranked players. But now I've got Ali Carter. He hasn't had a good start to the season by his lofty standards, so I'm looking forward to that. It's only a best of 7. If I can beat Mark Williams, I certainly can beat Ali Carter. But if I look at it, if I spin the coin the other way, I'm sure he'd prefer to play me than Mark Williams. So he'll be happy too, I guess.
Good win today, and good luck going forward this week, Dom.
Thank you very much, Roddy.